Today we're going to work on vocabulary list 5. To begin with, we're going to start with our first word, which is condone. Condone means reluctant approval. Really, it means you don't approve, but you kind of got to go with it, let them do it, and it's kind of your way of passive-aggressively saying, yeah, I'm not really for this. So here's an example of it. Angie struggled, but in the end could not condone her daughter's behavior. In other words, she couldn't approve of it. So that's the best way to describe it, and the little picture there helps to describe it as well. Next is penchant, and it's a French word that we got from there. Penchant means a strong inclination for something. So you might have a penchant for flowers or for coffee. That would be mine. That strong inclination, something you kind of like. The picture again shows we were told that you had a penchant for micromanaging. Apparently women have a penchant for flowers on Valentine's Day, which I'm actually filming this on Valentine's Day, so there you go. Charisma is another word that means magnetism or personal appeal. It's when somebody has something, you can't quite put your finger on it, but people are just drawn to them. And you don't know why, but it is some kind of a magnetism. It's people have it or they don't. So President Clinton, employing his well-known charisma, charmed the envoy of politicians. So you could say, she has great charisma, or something like that. The next word is given in the noun form of it, but there is also a verb that goes with it. So you could use either the noun form or the verb in a sentence. Just make sure when you use it either way that you do it correctly. Vindication means justification or clearance from blame or guilt, to exonerate someone. And the quote from Abraham Lincoln is, "Truth is usually the best vindication against slander." That's a great example of it. You could always use vindicate as well. Poverty was vindication for his thievery is another example. This one's probably the trickiest one to try to find sentences for, so I would definitely practice that one. Mitigate is another word for making less severe, and we see this quite often in our court systems. We talk about mitigation and the judges mitigating a sentence, which means that the original sentence was for the death penalty, but the judge mitigated for life in prison. Again, mitigate is the verb form of it. If you wanted to say mitigation in the mitigation sentencing, the judge did this, that would be fine as well. But honestly, it's usually easier to use it as a verb than it is as a noun. Transient means temporary, passing, but not permanent. The transient guests were leaving tomorrow. In other words, they're passing through. They're not going to stay. You could use transient for almost anything. The dolphins are transient there. They're passing through. They're on their way somewhere else. Duplicity is an interesting word. It means deliberate deception. So you can use duplicit or duplicity. If you are being duplicit, then you are showing duplicity. It's a different usage there. The duplicity of the politician became apparent after the audit. So duplicity is used as a noun. Duplicit, she was being duplicit, would be more of the verb form of it. So it's when people deliberately set out to deceive others. The next one is ruminate, and this one means to ponder, and it doesn't mean just to think about something. It means it keeps coming back in your mind, and that's why I love the ruminate example of the cow, because cows have 5 stomachs, and really it takes them a long time to eat, and ruminating really, to be honest, the ruminating word even goes as far as, in the initial terms of it, it means to think about something, tuck it away, come back and think about it, tuck it away. It's kind of like cows chewing their cud. Goes through one stomach, they tuck it away, it goes into another stomach. So it's that pondering over and over. The thought of a Caribbean vacation ruminated in my mind. So it's something that you think about, you put it away, it comes back, it keeps coming back. Now we're going to move on to our usage. Good versus well. This is a tough one. People struggle with this all the time. I even catch myself at times messing this one up. General rule. Good is an adjective. Well is an adverb. The problem is if you don't know what an adjective or an adverb is, then you're probably going to have a difficult time. That is a good song. Good in this sentence is modifying song. Song is a noun, so good is being used as an adjective. So you wouldn't say that is a well song anyway. That wouldn't even make sense. You sang the song very well because well is actually fully explaining how you sang something. That's what a verb is. When it modifies a verb, it could modify an adjective, it could modify a bunch of things. The bike is pedaling well, again, is pedaling. Well is describing how the bike is doing pedaling wise. The car is in good shape. It is good in that sentence is modifying shape and car because they're equal there. So it's describing how the shape is. So use good as an adjective, well as an adverb. Already versus already. Already is two different words, and it literally means ready to go with everybody in front of it. Everybody's ready is pretty much what it means. Already together is an adverb, and it means by now, even now, or by then. You could literally insert the phrase by now, and if it works, makes sense, then it's the already that's one word. We were all ready to study grammar. In other words, everyone was ready. Versus the plane had already left when we arrived. The plane had by then left when we arrived. I mean, it wouldn't make complete sense, but it would make more sense than saying that everyone was ready. It doesn't make sense with that. So that one is different. Sometimes spell check picks it up, sometimes they don't. Altar versus altar. Two homophones that sound alike but have very different meanings. Altar with the A is a platform where sacrifices are made to a god or a platform at the front of a house of worship. So you know when they have those creepy movies and they're putting weird things on pedestals to sacrifice them, that's considered an altar with the A. Alter with the E is a verb which means to change or amend. So please don't alter your personality. So don't change your personality. You're going to use an E. And using the E, you could alter clothes. You can alter your personality. But you can only pray at the altar with the A. And it is A is a noun. So the difference is there. Again, spell check doesn't pick those up. They don't care which way you spell it, as long as it's spelled one of those ways. So can't count on those things. Past versus past. Another pretty tricky one. Past with the ed is the past participle of to pass. So if you're using the verb to pass something, then like if you're passing the football to someone and you passed the football to someone, it would be ed. Past with the st usually refers to time. So I passed the clown. In other words, I walked beside it or next to it or past it. I passed out at the fair is another word for faint, but that's also considered how you would spell it. I try not to think about the past is how you would state it if you were talking about what happened before this moment. So those are your words for list 5.